first light that touched my soul came softly, slow and gentle roll. It crept along the windowsill and eased the thoughts that wouldn't still. It brushed the corners of the room like petals drifting into bloom. And in that early fragile shine, I felt the world align. I didn't know a dawn so shy could lift the weight I kept inside. The first light that touched my soul gathered every piece I stole from nights I broke in quiet ways and stitched them back with brighter days. The first light that touched my soul showed me how the small things grow. It whispered through the fading night, you're worthy of this light. Shadows bowed beneath the glow, revealing things I used to know. A journal opened by my bed, filled with words I left unsaid. The dust along the wooden floor shimmered like it hoped for more. And though my past still lingered near, the sunrise softened every fear. And in the way the light moved in, I felt my new day begin. The first light that touched my soul turned quiet grief into control. It warmed the cracks I tried to hide and eased the ache I felt inside. The first light that touched my soul reached the places night stole. It filled the spaces left behind and reorganized my mind. Maybe healing starts with dawn, with knowing life keeps moving on, not in leaps or sudden change, but golden beams and gentle ranges. Simple truth, a tender start, a sunrise formed inside my heart. The first light that touched my soul made the broken parts feel whole. It turned the silence into peace and let my restless heartbeat cease. The first light that touched my soul now stays within my role, and every morning's tender glow reminds me I can grow. And as the daylight spreads, it lifts my quiet threads. A window open to new air, let morning drift without a care. It carried scents of waking trees and whispered softly through the leaves. The curtains swayed in gentle waves like dancers light that morning saves. And in that flow of quiet grace, my heartbeat found its place. And in that breath of softened youth, I felt the air reveal its truth. A window open to new air, lifted burdens I couldn't bear. It touched the room with tender ease and left my spirit more at peace. A window open to new air shook loose the dust of old despair, and in the freshness drifting through, I found a clearer view. The breeze slipped past my resting chair, laid its fingers everywhere upon the books I left untouched, on memories I held too much. It moved across my quiet chest, inviting me to take a rest. And though the world was wide outside, the air felt like a guide. I breathed it in with steady pace and felt the warmth replace the chase. A window open to new air, took my doubt and let me softly breathe them out. A window open to new air taught me ways to self-compare, not with pressure, not with pain, but gentle strength again. Maybe hope is not a spark, but something drifting through the dark, a simple breeze that carries light in pieces soft and feather bright. And when we let the windows stay, the air will find its way. A window open to new air reminds me life has room to spare. It wraps me in its quiet glow and helps my heavy shoulders know. A window open to new air brings me back from wear and tear, and as I breathe the morning in, I let the day begin. And in the moving air, my heart feels new, repaired. Quiet rhythm of an ordinary day moves gently in its steady way. It hums along the kitchen tiles and greets my thoughts with tender smiles. The world outside begins to spin, but here I feel the calm begin as sunlight paints the wooden chairs with soft and easy flares. And in this subtle morning start, I hear the beating of my heart. The quiet rhythm of an ordinary day carries all my doubts away. It does not rush, it does not shout, it simply lets my fears fall out. The quiet rhythm of an ordinary day shows me I'll be okay. In every breath, in every sway, peace finds its gentle way. I pour my tea and watch it steam, a simple, slow, unfolding dream. The kettle clicks, the floorboards sigh as morning hours drift on by. The quiet hum of passing time feels almost like a subtle rhyme. And though the world demands so much, this moment's soft to touch. I let the stillness guide me through a calmer path I never knew. The quiet rhythm of an ordinary day turns heavy thoughts to slow decay. It helps me drift through what I feel and shapes the moment into real. The quiet rhythm of an ordinary day keeps the darker thoughts at bay and shows me life's small hidden sway in tones of warm and gray. Maybe life is made of these, the gentle moments, softened ease, not in roaring heights or noise, but in the quiet we employ, a rhythm simple, steady, true, that lets us breathe anew. Quiet rhythm of an ordinary day gives my spirit room to play. It turns the mundane into art and stitches solace through my heart. The quiet rhythm of an ordinary day teaches me its tender way, and as I move along its sway, my worries drift away. In that quiet place, peaceful way. When the morning found my gentle side, it brushed the tears I used to hide. It settled on my wounded heart and told the hurt it could depart. The light slipped in with tender grace and warmed the sorrow on my face. It whispered in its softened tone, you don't have to heal alone. In that fragile rising glow, I let the gentler feelings flow. When the morning found my gentle side, I felt my guarded walls divide. The quiet truth I'd pushed away returned in colors warm and gray. When the morning found my gentle side, my inner storms began to slide. And in that calm I learned to be kinder version of me. I sat beside the waking light, breathed in colors warm and bright. The silence offered up its seed and let the morning feel complete. My trembling hands relaxed at last as dawn unwound my troubled past. And in the glow upon my bed, I let the hurt be said. No rush to hide, no need to fear. The gentleness was finally here. When the morning found my gentle side, it eased the waves I used to ride. It let the fractures breathe again and washed away what burned within. When the morning found my gentle side, I felt my weary soul collide with something soft I'd long denied, a warmth I held inside. Maybe kindness starts as small as light that creeps along the wall, a gentle truth we fail to see until it wakes the heart to beat. A softer voice, a clearer view, a brighter strength and quiet hue. When the morning found my gentle side, it stood with me, it stayed, it tried to show me I was built to grow. Beyond the ache I learned to know. When the morning found my gentle side, something in my spirit cried, not out of pain but out of peace, a sign my heart could ease. And in that calming tide, my gentle self revived. Light footsteps through an easy morning, move softly without warning. They trail across the wooden floor and open up a subtle door. A breeze slips in from down the hall, as gentle as a sparrow's calling. In the hum of waking hours, I feel my quiet powers. The morning takes its time today and guides me in its tender way. Light footsteps through an easy morning lift the weight I've been adorning. They brush the dust from corners deep where yesterday fell half asleep. Light footsteps through an easy morning turn the day from gray to warming. In their steady, softened glide, my calm begins to ride. A cup of tea sits by the sink. I watch the steam rise, think about the things that held me tight and drifted through my restless night. But now the morning breathes me free, inviting in simplicity. And as I follow gentle signs, the day begins to shine. I never knew a step so small could shift the running of it all. Light footsteps through an easy morning, take away the past for warning. They let the world unfold at pace, slow enough to feel its grace. Light footsteps through an easy morning, help my scattered thoughts stop forming into storms that weigh me down. They lift me from the ground. Maybe peace is just a walk, a gentle sound instead of talk, a simple rhythm in the air to show my heart it's safe to care, and steps that laid me soft and true. I find a clearer view. Light footsteps through an easy morning, mark the day I stop suborning my joy beneath a world too loud. I choose the quiet, not the crowd. Light footsteps through an easy morning, guide my heart to slow reforming. And as I breathe in gentle glow, I let the morning flow. And in that easy glow, my lighter footsteps grow. The day I finally breathed again came gentler than the nights had been. It moved along my tired skin like something soft invited in. The morning light slid down the wall, so patient in its quiet fall. And in its glow I felt the ache begin to ease, begin to break. For once my chest did not feel tight, I let the morning set me right. The day I finally breathed again, lifted weight I held within. It didn't come with sudden change, but slowly moved my inner range. The day I finally breathed again, softened truths that once felt grim. It let each fragile part unwind and cleared the clutter in my mind. My hands relaxed, my shoulders dropped. The storm inside of me just stopped. I felt the air slip through my ribs more freely than it ever did. The window cracked a little wide, let morning colors slip inside, and something heavy in my chest finally chose to rest. It wasn't loud, it wasn't grand, just breath returning on command. The day I finally breathed again, ended battles I'd fought in vain. It let my thoughts float soft and free like waves across a gentle sea. The day I finally breathed again held me like a tender friend and whispered truths I'd long dismissed in warmth I hadn't kissed. Maybe Maybe healing comes in size. In moments light begins to rise. Not fireworks or blazing might, but gentle breaths that feel just right. A quiet shift within the soul that makes the broken parts feel whole. The day I finally breathed again became the place where life begins. A soft surrender to the air that tells me you're still here, still fair. The day I finally breathed again freed me from what had been pinned. And now with every breath I take, I feel myself awake. And in that morning's gleam, I breathed enough to dream. Sunbeams crawl across my table, move like stories calm and stable. They stretch in lines of amber glow across the woods so warm and slow. The quiet hum of waking day washes all my fears away. And in the rays that softly creep, my busy thoughts fall deep. I watch the dust drift through the light, like memories learning to feel right. Sunbeams crawling across my table show me life is still so able to shine between the scattered mess and bring me gentle weightlessness. Sunbeams crawling across my table, lift my heart and make it stable. A quiet promise, soft and true, that brighter days peek through. The kettle warms with whispered steam, a soft reminder how we dream. And though the world may rush outside, here I feel the slowing tide. I trace the patterns on the grain, each line familiar in my brain. The sunlight fills the empty space with hints of quiet grace. I breathe the warmth upon my skin and let the lighter thoughts begin. Sunbeams crawling across my table turn my doubts into a fable. They melt the edges of my fear and leave the calmest atmosphere. Sunbeams crawling across my table make the day feel more than stable. They show me small can still be grand in ways I understand. Maybe hope is soft, not loud, not lightning breaking through a cloud, but sunlight tracing morning's face in simple lines of warm embrace. A quiet glow that calls my name and says I'm worthy all the same. Sunbeams crawling across my table hold a power unassailable. They brighten everything I see and light the gentler side of me. Sunbeams crawling across my table remind me life is still so able. And in their golden steady climb, I feel my peace in time. And as the beams extend, my quiet heart transcends. Soft across my inner fight, it reached the places left in pain and washed them clean like gentle rain. The colors brighten through the glass, letting every struggle pass. And in that flood of softened glow, I felt myself let go. It moved with quiet, steady grace and warmed the coldest part of space. The calm that poured from morning light turned my darkness almost bright. It touched the sorrow in my chest and offered me a needed rest. The calm that poured from morning light softened every inner fight with hues of yellow, soft and sweet. It pulled me to my feet. The shadows slowly thinned away as morning claimed its rightful stay. My breath fell into gentle flow, matching all the warmth below. The silence stayed without a rush, my heartbeat humming in its hush, and every inch of weary strain felt lighter in its rain. The light moved tender through the shade, a quiet miracle it made. The calm that poured from morning light gave my weary world respite. It filled the cracks I never mended and held me where my edges ended. The calm that poured from morning light made the hardest parts feel right. It draped the room in golden haze and softened all my ways. Maybe healing takes the form of warmth that settles soft, not warm, of sunlight slipping through the seam, restoring pieces left unseen, of tiny shifts the soul can feel that make the broken parts reveal. The calm that poured from morning light brought my spirit back to sight. It wrapped me gently in its beams and gave new shape to my old dreams. The calm that poured from morning light helped my shattered hope unite, and in its bright and quiet hymn my peace began to brim. And as the morning grew, my calm returned anew. When the sky spoke softly to my heart, it told me where my fears could part. It whispered through the quiet blue a steady truth I somehow knew. The early clouds drifted slow like thoughts released from long ago, and as their shadows crossed the glass I felt the morning pass. And though the world still held its weight, the sky reminded me to wait. When the sky spoke softly to my heart, my healing found a place to start. It carried hope in muted tones and guided me through broken zones. When the sky spoke softly to my heart, it soothed the ache I tore apart. With colors calm and soft and slow, it taught me how to grow. The morning breeze aligned with light, a pairing delicate and right. It brushed my cheeks, it stroked my hair, it made the world feel more aware. A simple calm, a quiet grace read gently on my tired face. And though my doubts held on so strong, the sky hummed its soft song. I listened closely to its plea to breathe and simply it held my care and told me healing's always there. When the sky spoke softly to my heart, it played the tenderest part. And as the daylight broke apart, I felt a brand new start. And in that soft impart, the sky rebuilt my heart. A gentle breath across my morning came softly without warning. It moved along the window frame and called my quiet by its name. The early shadows bent away to let the warm light take its stay. And in the drift of softened air, I found a calm so rare. It wrapped around my resting mind like comfort I'd been trying to find. A gentle breath across my morning, slow the storms I'd been adorning. It lifted sorrow from my chest and gave my tired thoughts a rest. A gentle breath across my morning pulled me from my inner mourning. With every soft renewing sigh, it made my spirit fly. I stood beside the window pane and let the light dissolve the strain. The world outside was waking slow in colors only dawn could show. Bird song drifted from afar, a melody of where things are. And in that soft unfolding tune, my heart realigned with noon. I breathed the morning deep and long and felt my pulse grow strong. A gentle breath across my morning turned my sadness into forming, shaped my fears with gentle tone and told me I was not alone. A gentle breath across my morning stopped the doubts that once were swarming. In quiet beams and softened glow, it helped my courage grow. Maybe peace begins this way, not with grand words we try to say, but breath that drifts in morning light and holds us through the fight. A quiet sigh, a steady glow that tells us where to go. A gentle breath across my morning showed me life was worth adorning, with moments calm and moments true, with simple things I never knew. A gentle breath across my morning left my weary heart transforming. And as the day began to rise, I saw hope in clearer skies. And in that moment heart laid bare. Sunlight resting on my shoulders feels warmer now that I am older. It lays itself in golden lines across this quiet day of mine. The air is filled with soft embrace, a touch that time cannot replace. And in the stillness of this glow, a gentler part of me can grow. I didn't know the light could be a place that brings me back to me. Sunlight resting on my shoulders melts the weight that once felt colder. It warms the fears I used to chase and gives my tired heart some space. Sunlight resting on my shoulders helps my restless thoughts grow bolder. It whispers softly, you're okay, and guides me through the day. I breathe the quiet, drifting in a moment's peace against my skin. The window frames a rising hue that paints the world in something new. The morning moves with gentle grace and touches every fragile place within my soul that longed to rest but never felt its best. And with each softly glowing beam, I feel the dawn reshape my dreams. Sunlight resting on my shoulders lifts the weight I carried over. It gives the hours a golden trace and fills my world with subtle grace. Sunlight resting on my shoulders turns my doubts into beholders of gentle truths I never knew till morning showed me through. Ooh, maybe I was meant too slow to feel the warmth I didn't know, to let the sun take part of me and show me who I'm meant to be. A beam of hope, a quiet spark, a guide out of the dark. Sunlight resting on my shoulders makes the broken parts feel slower. It glows on all the pieces torn and tells me I'm reborn. Sunlight resting on my shoulders stays with me as day grows older. And every time I feel its grace, I find my healing place. And as the daylight folds my soul in warmth it holds. Gentle love between my heartbeats move slowly through the morning streets. They touch the corners of my mind where restless thoughts are left behind. The window glows in softened gold, a quiet story yet untold. And in the hush between each beat, my weary soul finds room to meet. I breathe the stillness deep within and let the new day softly begin. Gentle hours between my heartbeats gather calm in quiet repeats. They smooth the creases in my chest and let my broken thoughts find rest. Gentle hours between my heartbeats teach me how my hope retreats, but comes back warm in moments small, where morning starts to call. The kettle sings a quiet tune, a melody beneath the moon. I wrap my hands around a cup and feel my spirits lifting up. The early birds and nearby trees are harmonies for all my ease. Their song slips softly through the air like hands that stroke my care. I let the gentle rhythms guide each fragile thought I often hide. Gentle hours between my heartbeats fill my world with subtle heat. They show me how to breathe again and lift the fog of where I've been. Gentle hours between my heartbeats hold the truths I can't delete. That healing comes in quiet ways and grows through tender days. Maybe peace is not a shout, but quiet flowing in and out. Maybe hearts beat softest when we let the calm come in again, in pauses where the light can shine and touch the deepest parts of mine. Gentle hours between my heartbeats turn my losses into feats. They gather all I feared to face and fill them with a gentle grace. Gentle hours between my heartbeats bring me mornings bittersweet, and in their quiet flowing art I hear my mending heart. As each soft hour completes, my heart finds calmer peace. Stories only mornings know. It draped itself in golden stripes and softened all my old goodbyes. The chair beside it warmed in play, inviting me to start the day. And in its gentle, glowing call, I felt my spirit fall into the quiet. I let myself flow into a place where healing can grow. The warmth that waited by the window melted shadows I once let grow. It touched the corners of my pain and turned them into something sane. The warmth that waited by the window pulled my heart from winter's shadow, and in its gentle amber light I learned I'd be alright. Steam rose softly from my cup as morning slowly drifted up. The quiet gave me space to breathe and set my tangled worries free. The warmth draped softly on my face, a tender kind of wordless grace. And though the world might call my name, for now I stayed the same. The calmness in the room became the light that soothed my inner flame. The warmth that waited by the window showed me life can move more slow. It traced the outline of my fear and whispered peace is near. The warmth that waited by the window gave my tired thoughts a shadow to rest beneath as morning grew and shaped a brighter view. Maybe all I ever needed simply changing with the dawn, becoming parts I leaned upon. The warmth that waited by the window lit the parts I used to forgo. It carried healing in its glow in ways I never thought I'd know. The warmth that waited by the window held the calm of gentle ebb flow, and in its safe and golden show I felt my true self grow. And as the morning blooms, the warmth still fills my rooms. A soft day made from simple things, a rise without the need for wings. It drifts into my quiet home and tells me I'm not meant to roam. The coffee cup, the open blinds, the gentle hum of softened minds all shape a world so calm and slow, where every moment starts to glow. And in this easy, tender air, I feel a peace beyond compare. A soft day made from simple things wraps my heart in gentle rings. It brings me back to what is real and teaches me the way to heal. A soft day made from simple things shows the joy that morning brings. It moves the shadows from my chest and gives my weary soul some rest. I sit upon the wooden chair and let the morning stroke my hair. The window frames a quiet scene of life unhurried, clear and clean. Birds perch softly on the line, their song so tender, so divine. And in the glow they help create, my senses resonate. The world outside may rush and roar, but here I'm safe at my core. A soft day made from simple things holds the hope that gently clings to edges frayed by restless nights and brings them back to softer sides. A soft day made from simple things feels like calm on healing wings. It lays its quiet on my chest and lets my worries take a rest. Maybe peace is built from small, the things that barely speak at all. A cup of tea, a warming light, a gentle breath in quiet sight. A room that holds my fragile state, a day that helps me recalibrate. A soft day made from simple things shows the truth a sunrise brings, that even in my tangled seams there's calm within my morning dreams. A soft day made from simple things gives my heart the space it clings, and as the daylight gently rings, it teaches my soul wings. And with these simple things, my quiet spirit sings. Morning colors painting who I am flow softly like a healing dam. They glow across my restless mind and show the parts I tried to find. Soft blues and yellows blend and play across the canvas of the day, and in their quiet tender blend I find a place to mend. And with each shade of rising light, my inner voice grows less and fine. Morning colors painting who I am wash away the heavy jam. They turn my doubts to gentle hues and give my truth a clearer view. Morning colors painting who I am hold my heart without a plan. They mix the past with what's begun and warm me like the sun. The sky unfolds a shifting tone, a palette I can call my own. I watch the colors touch the floor and soften scars I kept before. Each ray that pours upon my skin invites the timid hope within. Suddenly I see the start of rebuilding my heart. I breathe the warmth, I breathe the shades, and feel the fear that slowly fades. Morning colors painting who I am shape my world in gentle glam. They move with kindness through my soul and make my broken places whole. Morning colors painting who I am teach me life is not a scam, but something blooming day by day in tones that softly stay. Maybe I'm a work of art, still learning how to play my part. Maybe all these colors new are proof of what I'm growing through. And if the morning lights my view, then I can paint myself anew. Morning colors painting who I am lift my life like warm wind can. They guide me through the shifting air and remind me I'm still rare. Morning colors painting who I am blend my truth with where I stand, and with each gentle glowing slam they tell me who I am. Painted in morning's calm, my spirit grows in charm. The morning quiet that held my name arrived before the sunlight came. It drifted softly through the room and pushed aside the fading gloom. A gentle whisper in the air, like someone telling me they care. It wrapped around my weary frame and softly spoke my name. I never knew the dawn could be a place that truly welcomed me. The morning quiet that held my name warmed the parts I couldn't tame. It soothed the trembling in my chest and offered me a quiet rest. The morning quiet that held my name lifted burdens without blame, and in its tender wordless claim I found myself the same. The window glow with hints of gold, a promise waiting to unfold. The early breeze slipped through the glass like memories I let go past. It brushed against my tired skin and let the softer thoughts begin. And in that space of gentle care I felt myself repair. The stillness carried truth so light. It held my heart through fading night. The morning quiet that held my name undid the knots I couldn't frame. It turned my sorrow into sighs and cleared the haze before my eyes. The morning quiet that held my name showed me I am not the same. It held the broken parts in line and whispered you'll be fine. Maybe calm is not a sound, but silence warm that wraps around. Maybe healing starts this way before the light begins the day. A quiet touch, a tender call that holds the heart through all. The morning quiet that held my name makes my gentle hope reclaim. It fills the voids I've tried to hide and lays its warmth against my side. The morning quiet that held my name guides me when my fears inflame, and in its still unwavering flame I know I'm still the same. And as the daylight came, I heard it speak my name. Little peace beside my coffee cup rose softly as the sun came up. It lingered in the warming steam and cradled me in half a dream. The wooden table caught the light and held it in a gentle bite. And in that glow so faint, so true, I felt my calm renew. It didn't rush, it didn't speak, just held me through the rising peak. A little peace beside my coffee cup lifted my heavy spirit up. It filled the cracks along my past with colors warm and shadows cast. A little peace beside my coffee cup held my sorrows in its sup and whispered through the morning hush that I don't need to rush. I wrapped my fingers round the heat and felt my heart beat slow its beat. The world outside was stretching wide, but here the quiet chose to stay beside. The light crawled softly down the wall in gentle streaks that didn't fall, and in its slow unfurling grace I found my resting place. The stillness touched my soul so deep, it soothed the thoughts I couldn't keep. A little peace beside my coffee cup pulled my scattered breathing up. It laid its warmth upon my fears and softened edges built from years. A little peace beside my coffee cup helped the morning open up. It let the colors soak my view and showed me what was true. Maybe strength is something mild or reassured and softened child, not loud or bold or fierce or grand, but gentle warmth within my hand. A peaceful sip, a steady start, a healing settled in my heart. A little peace beside my coffee cup held the hope I'd given up. It gathered me in morning's grace and filled the cold, forgotten space. A little peace beside my coffee cup lifted all I bottled up, and in its tender quiet sup my spirit spirit lifted up. And as the daylight woke, my heart unbroke. The softest hour before I speak arrives when dawn is barely weak. It settles gently on my tongue before my daily words are sung. My thoughts unwind in muted tones like waves that curl around the stones. And in that hush before I start, I feel the healing in my heart. The morning waits for me to breathe before I choose the truths I weave. The softest hour before I speak gives the quiet that I seek. It lifts my voice with gentle hands before the world makes its demands. The softest hour before I speak turns my fragile into me, and in its slowly warming streak my hope begins to peak. I sit beside the window pane and watch the sunrise stake its claim. It pushes darkness from the room and melts the edges of my gloom. My breath aligns with golden air, a rhythm calm beyond compare. And in the silence of this start I hear my beating heart. It tells me I don't need to rush. There's meaning resting in the hush. The softest hour before I speak lends strength when life feels bleak. It shapes my words with careful grace before they take their chosen place. The softest hour before I speak paints my courage cheek to cheek. And though the world may call me weak, I rise from what is unique. Maybe all the words we lose are those we rush too fast to choose. Maybe hearts speak best in peace in moments when the tension ceases. And when the morning holds me near, my voice becomes more clear. The softest hour before I speak turns the tangle to antique. It gives me space to breathe and be a better, kinder version of me. The softest hour before I speak makes my inner truth less bleak. And as I greet the waking day, my voice finds its own way. And in the soft ray, my words learn how to stay. When the light finally reached my floor, it carried warmth I'd missed before. It rolled across the wooden grain and eased the echoes of my pain. The shadows bowed beneath its touch as if they knew they'd felt too much. And in that quiet golden sweep, my oldest wounds fell deep. The morning gave what night had kept. a softness where my sorrow slept. When the light finally reached my floor, I didn't feel alone no more. It filled the room with gentle glow and loosened thoughts I couldn't show. When the light finally reached my floor, I felt my heartbeat start to soar, and in its shimmering tender score, my soul began to restore. I traced the outlines of its shine across the places once confined. The walls that held my fears inside now glowed in colors I can't hide. A fragile warmth beneath my toes reminded me of how life grows, from places dusty, cracked and worn to seeds of hope reborn. The morning whispered through the air, a promise soft, a quiet care. When the light finally reached my floor, it touched the parts I can't ignore. It softened edges sharp with doubt and smoothed the places worn throughout. When the light finally reached my floor, it washed the grief I'd stored before and let my weary spirit pour into something more. Maybe all we need is light to guide us softly to what's right. Not blazing bright or harsh or loud, but warm enough to leave us proud. A quiet glow, a golden thread that pulls us from the dread. When the light finally reached my floor, it opened up a healing door. It colored all the pain I knew in morning shades of something new. When the light finally reached my floor, my heart found room to soar, and with each gentle moment more, I felt my spirit restored. And as the daylight grew, my hope came into view. A morning made of second chances arrived in softly shifting glances. The sunlight touched the faded wall and welcomed me to rise from fall. It whispered through the open blinds and settled on my scattered minds. A tender warmth, a breath so new that gently pulled me through. I didn't think I'd feel this way, but mornings teach me day by day. A morning made of second chances brightens where my fear advances. It lifts the pieces I've undone and warms them softly one by one. A morning made of second chances softens all my old defenses. It lays forgiveness on my chest and lets my tired soul rest. I held my cup with both my hands and watched the steam make shifting strands. It moved like thoughts I never spoke, like lines of hearts I never broke. And in the stillness of the room, where shadows once created gloom, I felt a rising flame of ease that drifted with the breeze. Each breath I took returned to me with hints of who I'm meant to be. A morning made of second chances unties the knots my mind enhances. It lets my hope unfold again and lifts the sadness from my skin. A morning made of second chances washes out my past romances with colors pure and softly spun to let my future run. Maybe all we lose returns, and sunrise light that gently burns. Maybe hearts can start anew in shades of early morning hue. A chance to rewrite yesterday with truth that doesn't stray. A morning made of second chances turns the world to softer stances. It fills my chest with gentle air and rests my burdens everywhere. A morning made of second chances breaks my fear and its expanses, and in its light that softly dances I find my new advances. And as the daylight